What's going on, y'all? It's yours truly, the League of Exemplary Men Brothers. Man, 2021, new year.
Yeah.
We here, man. There's so much in store. I feel like that's every year, though. Every year, everybody kind of has a lot in store, but I feel like
Right.
you got to go into life with that kind of zest and that real that
Yeah.
want, that desire to look forward to new challenges of the year.
Right.
We do it every year. You can't let COVID or the pandemic pretty much change things, So
Definitely. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's been a good year for me, man. How about you?
it's been a good year, man. I think it's been a good year. Business-wise, man, it's been a good year.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's been a good
Business-wise, it's been a good year. I mean, obviously, you got to think of the collective good of everybody economically, But I think from an entrepreneurial economic standpoint,
Right.
it was one of those years where it's sink or swim. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. For me too, it was definitely either sink or swim, but it looked like, not to brag or boast or anything like that. It's just clearly to give value and let you know that this is entirely possible.
Right.
But it was definitely a swim and run, jump, fly, whatever you want to call it. Because
pretty much do everything.
it was really good. Actually, you have to remember in every single, and this is value right off the bat, in every single problem, there's always an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So that's essentially what happened for me. I mean, I've been flirting with, entrepreneurship for probably about good 3-4 years.
Mm-hmm.
But, my career and my job, the stability and the comfort of my job just kind of it made me comfortable. I didn't want to go outside my comfort zone in any way, shape, or form. But the pandemic, limited the distractions.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I couldn't go outside. So I just honed my focus on, let me try this entrepreneurship thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked, man. We did 232 grand in 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going good, and it's an amazing thing, But one of the things that I realized about making money is that, I always thought that it was like you get a bag of money, a bunch of money, and then you go off to some island,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just chill. But money doesn't work like that.
Doesn't work like that.
It really does not work like that. For you guys out there that are probably looking to make money, it's a work ethic. It's a grind. And I'm not just saying that to be cliche. I'm actually saying that because that's the way our money works. If you don't, just to give you some backstory on financial literacy, money is always depreciating. It's always depreciating. It's never appreciating. So $1 today is not going to be $1 next week and 10 years from now. It's always depreciating. And people who aren't financially literate, they always ask why the bills are getting so high. That's because the dollar is depreciating. It's called inflation, which is the reason why, these top investors are always investing their money, even though they have tens of millions and gazillions of dollars. They're always investing. Amazon is at the top right now, and they're still looking for new ways to invest.
Mm-hmm.
So I always thought, obtaining financial freedom was, hey, you get the bag, you get the money, and then you go to some island and then you just chill. It's not like that. Yeah, money it's definitely not like that. You have to continually to invest. So that's what we're doing, and this is an investment of ours, giving back, and just sharing and knocking down all of the lies that we were taught when we were younger. Because just some more backstory, this is my brother, and we both are coming from a Caribbean home, and we were taught. What we were taught, the only way to be rich is to be a doctor or a lawyer, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Get a job, get education.
Yeah, and that's
but
it.
you can't really fault your parents because they don't really know. They didn't
Yeah.
It's
not
but I think
faulting them,
but I think now being in the information age, having access to YouTube,
exactly,
different individuals, where you could jump into Amazon FBA or E-Comm drop shipping. I could jump into Airbnbs, fix and flips, everything real estate, and pretty much learn how to do it. You really don't even need to buy a course. I mean, I advise
it's all on YouTube.
I advise people to buy courses, but you can literally piece the steps together on YouTube.
Right.
The thing about YouTube right now is that there's information overload, and I'm just going to tell you exactly how it is. There's people, they will sell you a product because they know that 90% of the people who buy that product is not going to take action or they're going to fail.
This is true.
So it's it almost sounds like people look at individuals who are teaching these courses as if you create like more competition for yourself, but it's really not true, to be honest. You know, because there's individuals, like everybody's gonna like learn how to make money, and everybody's gonna buy a course. But I know at least 5 people offhand who, you know, they went to like I think it was a high level fix and flip investor. Now he's an E-Comm guy. We all went to his he had a whole training event, right? His training event. And I know one guy specifically who bought into the entire program. It was $5,000 to go, and then they upsell you obviously as they teach you like how to get deals into a $25,000 6-month mastermind mastery program, right? And I know an individual who purchased that and didn't do one deal. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the thing about it is that like money is like it's great, but it's once you get into this business, once you get into like the business of first it's freedom, right? Financial freedom, having that like I really want to like change my life.
I want more.
Right, I want more.
I want more.
And then after that, then comes the skills to get to that. Like, because it's like, it's not just going to be as simple as like, all right, well, you just got to work hard. No, it's not that simple. Like, you got to work smart. You got to attain knowledge. You got to get certain skills. You got to like master some form of like marketing, sales, management. You know, if you want to scale, you have to like hire people. You have to like watch them because you're spending money on them. So
that is definitely the technical,
yeah,
background and backstory. But to echo what you're saying and to also give more value, you have to understand money is a form of currency. Currency is energy. I firmly believe this, and this is not some spirituality, some mindset, mumbo jumbo gumbo that I'm trying to feed you. But a dollar is a form of energy, right? And that energy has a value attributed to it. So when somebody decides to take their money out of their pocket and give it to you, it's because at that moment in time, the purchase that they're making is more valuable than the money that they have. So in turn, what that really means is to gain money. If you really want money, help people. Help people or solve a big problem.
Solve problems.
And that's really what it is. And I didn't learn that until, I crossed over to, after I hit the 100,000 mark. Because up to the 100,000 mark, I was saying, you know what, I just want to make money. I just want to make money, and I was only thinking about myself. But then I didn't understand how can I scale past that, and because I was looking at it from a selfish perspective instead of looking at it from a serving perspective, right. Which will allow you to scale the masses. People, I just told you guys, we grew up in a household where it's middle class, but the conundrum or the rumors is, oh, the rich are bad. If you have a lot of money, you're evil, right? They're crooks. But when you think about it, if you're rich, that means you're helping a lot of people, and a lot of people are being helped by you.
Yeah.
A perfect example is one of my mentors, somebody I look up to, Jeff Bezos. People despise the guy, eat the rich and all of these things, but they have an Amazon. They have an Amazon account.
When they need something, when there's no emotion involved, where it's connected to like anything economic or financial, and they need something in 2 days,
he provided that service.
That's
amazing, and he helps millions of people. That's the only way you're going to obtain riches, if you help people. So, if you're looking for money, that's one of the things that you have to do. Change your mindset. The mindset is extremely important. I'm not talking about spirituality. None of that. In sense of change your mindset. Understand that service will equal dollars. It will help people. Look for a problem, solve it, and little by little you'll develop your skill and your marketing. The reason why all of these people, let's talk about that. Let's talk about buying courses, because a lot of people are like, it's a scam, or this person he's flaunting a flashy lifestyle, and I don't want to buy into his course. Right? You don't have to buy a course. As my brother just stated, you do not have to buy a course. But what you do need to do is take action. Very important. That's the biggest thing, even after you buy the course. So what happens is that people are obsessed with instant gratification. So that gentleman that you just talked about who purchased a $25,000 course, it's the instant gratification that got a hold in him. And he didn't even take action on it. I'll give you a funny story, me as well. I got Ty Lopez's social media mastery course. It's a $10,000 course. I got it for free. Because I'm from New York, I got the gift of gab. We know how to talk anybody out of their pants, anybody out of anything. So I was like, you know what? I'm still in the old mindset, though, mind you. So I said, you know what? Let me get it for free. Let me get it for free. Let me get it for free. I got the guy who has the course to give it to me for little to nothing. I think I paid like $50 for it, right? For a $10,000 course.
For a 10K course.
For a 10K course. Ask me if I went through that course. Not one, not one page, not one mentorship, not one video. I looked at it a couple times and I still haven't gone through it today. Yeah. Right? It's not until I dropped $997 of the course to learn the business model that I do today. That's when I went into the no, I got to do this thing.
Yeah, because once you drop that 997, it's like emotionally it leans on you.
Right, you know? And there's people who do drop the 997, but they don't take action.
Right,
because they're obsessed with the instant gratification. Me too. We both have a coaching program in the L.O.E.M Academy that you'll be able to partake of. We're giving everything away, everything. The only thing we don't give away is our personal bank account information because that's between us and the IRS. But everything, all of our tactics, all of our strategies, we're giving it away because we know, not saying that we know that nobody's going to take action, but that's the reality that we live in. I have a course right now for $500 and I gave it away to my friends for free and very little of them took action. To this day, when they see my results, they're like, oh my God, what can I do? I was like, I gave it to you already.
Gave you the
I gave you already.
That's why
you just have to take action.
And that's why mindset is so important because the thing is that everybody's looking for the secret sauce.
Right.
When the secret sauce is really you got the skills, you got the tools. It's just the mindset.
Right.
Like if you have the mindset now to say, okay, in your business model, well, in every business model, you got to put up some kind of cash to generate even more cash. Yeah. And that's where a lot of people get stuck. When you got to pay $500 on ads, and you look at a bank account, and you didn't really do the due diligence, you didn't really take the action. So a lot of people just quit. They give up.
Yeah.
Whereas it's the same thing. In my business, with Airbnbs, I'm able to right now to currently consistently generate $12,000 gross. You know what I'm saying? And net profits anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000. The most I've ever hit was $4,800. I mean, I really don't like to get into the numbers, but I like to just let people know that this works. But a lot of people, in Airbnb, the way how it works is most people do what's called rental arbitrage, right? Where you rent a home. You're renting. Just think about it. There's high-level people who have 20 units, right?
Right.
And each of those units are $1,000. So just imagine every single month, one man or one woman has to pay $20,000 in rent.
Right.
But if you look at it from that perspective, that's the scarce perspective. I got to spend $20,000 in rent.
Look at it like that.
But if you go through the course, right? And the first course that I bought for Airbnbs, it's the rule of 8. You have to survey an area. You have to do the due diligence, take the necessary action. It's not going to be easy. It's difficult. Right. But these guys who are paying $20,000 in rent, they're making $250,000 a quarter.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? So they pay that rent willingly, and they want to get more units. Yep. They want to get more. They want to invest more. So it's all a mindset to just know I'm gonna overcome. I'm gonna win. Right.
And you also have to once again to echo that you have to repurpose what people call failure. Because failure is just learning. It's all it is, learning. You have to manage your risk, just like anything else. I allocate it or I liken it to sports. Right. So I allocate it to sports where I enjoy basketball, and but if you're injured, you have to manage your risk. If you have a sprained ankle or something like that, you can't go out there and just ball crazy. Right. You manage your risk and you do what you can to still perform, but at the same time not hurt yourself or your team.
Same thing in business.
Same exact thing with business. You manage your risk. You set aside a budget, and you say to yourself, "I'm willing to risk this much," right? And you consider it gone. But don't harp too much on the risk. Harp on the learning and the allocation of knowledge, because that's essentially where the sauce is. Because the information is free. The information is free and it's abundant. There's a lot of information in there to the point where it's overloading. And that's where people have paralysis by analysis. So the objective of the information age is not, not on purpose, but usually a byproduct of all this information is that people get paralysis by analysis because they don't know what to do because there's so many things to do. There's actually so much success points, whereas before it was like the knowledge was limited. So that's one thing to remember. Like whenever you get into the business space, it's not about winning or losing. It's about learning and advancing, learning and advancing, learning and advancing. Once again, I always go to my mentor, Jeff Bezos. He started out with books. Right? And now he sells everything. His rival, Toys R Us, they're no more. And everybody talks about them. They're one of the biggest failures in business because when the internet was coming out, they said, oh, no, we're not going to put a store online. People are still going to come to our store because everybody has a child and every child wants toys, right? So they're going to come to our physical location. There's no more Toys R Us. Yeah. Same thing with Blockbuster.
Netflix came to them.
Netflix came to them and said, hey, listen, I think everything is going to streaming. Would you like to buy us? We'll take care of everything. And you could just make the money on the back and no, we're good. People are going to come in and order tapes. They're no more. A couple of years back, they came to Netflix we want to buy you now. No, sorry, we're gone. They took off. So, Jeff Bezos, like I said, I'm going to refer to him a lot because he's an amazing individual. And he said, you should be loose on the details, but not loose and be rigid on the destination. Right. The destination is secure. You put that in your GPS, that's where we're going. Whether we make a left turn, a right turn, or up or down, that's where you should be loose on.
Right.
So you want to do this, you understand that you're going to do this, what is the destination? My destination was to get to $1,000 a day. And I always thought, man, I got to invest all this money into ads to make back a return. And what you said is true. When I'm making so much money, I don't mind. Black Friday just passed, and we did enormous numbers because everybody's shopping online. We did enormous numbers. And you think that I mind spending $10,000 to fulfill the orders? No, because I'm making so much. I'm making 20 times that, 10 times that, 30 times that. You know what I mean? So that's the point that you want to get to. You want to improve your mindset, and you want to be optimistic all the time. Very important.
All the time. It's very important. It's very important. Like you said, I like that quote about the destination over the details.
Right. Destination over the details.
Right. Like when you read the book Traction, it lets you know, and I'm sure pretty much every entrepreneur, every business person has heard of the book or has read the book. It lets you know, the difference between the visionary and the integrator. For instance, with Apple, Wozniak was the integrator, but he didn't have the vision.
Right.
He didn't have the vision. We all know who the visionary was. And he didn't care about doing. He did whatever it took because he knew exactly what would sell. It's the same thing with, I was watching a documentary about, Ralph Lauren earlier today about how he did whatever he had to do. He sold 28% of the company for $135 million, and always believed in himself. But it always comes back to self. And I feel honestly, starting a business, in my opinion, or even just becoming an entrepreneur, it almost segues into self-development.
It does. It has to.
It's I was watching something
so powerful.
Yeah, I was watching something from a popular dating coach. I'm pretty sure all you guys know him. His name is Mr. Samuels. But he was pretty much saying that in order to move up in the world, you have to you have to just hit off certain there has to be certain checkpoints, right? So it's it can't just be money, like you said. You have to provide value back to people. Right. So it's you're not just going to learn how to make money. What's going to start to happen is that you're going to have to see okay, I have to dress a certain way. Right. I have to start to eloquently speak. I have to portray myself in a certain manner for people to take my business seriously. Right. And then it starts to change. People say people change when they make money, and they do.
They do.
They do. It's
I think for the better. If they're doing it ethically, for the better.
Yeah, for the better. It's not when a lot of people say, "Oh, you changed because of the money," they think of the cliche you had friends and then they were you all grew up in the hood, and then you see those same friends in the hood and then you kind of shun them. But it's not that at all. But the fact of the matter is that sometimes you'll speak about those same people. You'll speak about business and self-development with those same people, and they look at you like you got 8 heads. Right. So they won't understand. So it's it seems from just outside looking in, like, okay, this person is trying to shy away from these like individuals he grew up with. But at the same time, it's like you all know that, you know, they say like the 5 people around you, that's pretty much who you become.
Well,
you know,
it's true. And one thing people have to understand, even with those, people have to understand, and this is something that I didn't understand in the beginning, the difference between, rich and wealthy, the difference between a business owner working in their business and a business entrepreneur working on their business. There's massive differences because, the people that we look up to that, are rich and wealthy, the LeBron James, the athletes and the rappers, they're just glorified employees.
Yeah,
that's all they are. They put their time in and they get a paycheck. But the person that you really should be looking at, if Jay-Z's making $1 million, Def Jam made probably 50 million.
Yeah, that's why Jay-Z moved up to become
Def Jam.
Right,
exactly. If Drake makes 2 million, freaking Young Money, Cash Money had to make 30 on the back end in order to pay Drake. Like, that's the thing people don't understand. So when you still have that employee mindset, and that's why those people are actually glorified. They're glorified because they want to keep you chasing fool's gold.
Yep.
But now with the emergence of YouTube, the emergence of Robert Kiyosaki, sorry, I can't say that name. Kiyosaki's, I apologize. Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, it unveiled everything. They want to put the Mariah Careys in you, the Drakes, the LeBron James, the Michael Jordans in front
Get
of
a job.
Yeah, get a job. And then aspire to be rich, but you're still an employee. But they don't tell you about the hard grind of entrepreneurship, which is why people like Gary Vee, people like Tony Robbins, these people are gods and they're looked at as gods because they unveil all of this cloak that is in front of America's eyes, and it's a lot of emotional and mental weight when you have to deal with the business, which is why, as my brother stated, it almost develops you.
Yeah,
it develops you to become better.
Yeah,
like for me to get $1,000 a day profit and then to invest it back.
it's a mindset.
Some people don't understand that.
Yeah,
they don't get that. Like, yo, you make $1,000 a day, and when I train people, I always make sure I precursor them and take them to a pre-training so they understand this is not a job. This is an investment, but you're improving your skill. Like my brother's in the Airbnb business. He's improved skills over time that he knows how to talk to owners. He knows how to get those deals. Me with Facebook ads, I've improved those skills. It doesn't matter what, come hell or high water, I know how to put an ad online and make people buy. I've learned that skill, right? And that's why I can take $1,000 profit and just put it back into the business.
Yep.
Because you're building business equity. And people don't understand that, and because that's how money works. It's not to get it and then to go spend it on what they told you to, a Lambo.
Yeah,
that is a liability.
It's a liability.
It's a liability. To put it simply, and my brother's gonna go more into it because he's actually, very good on this. An asset and a liability, two different things. An asset puts money into your pocket. It brings money in, brings the money come home. And liability takes money out of your pocket.
Yeah.
So growing up, we always looked at the people with the BMWs
and
the fancy cars like, wow, they got money. No. The money's leaving.
It's leaving.
All of that is evidence that the money is leaving.
Listen, honestly, like the way you have to look at money is that every single time you take $1 out of your pocket or you swipe your card, that money, that dollar should bring you back $1.50.
Right.
That's how you got to look at it. So now over the last year, 2020, I've been looking at all these different businesses, and another business I'm about to get into is Turo. Like I saw one like Turo guy, who does like car rentals, and I'm seeing that like he's like, listen, if I'm spending any kind of money, I have to make an investment back on that money. Yeah. So it's like, all right, but at the same time, we understand like you said, you have to manage risk. So like you have to look at like, okay, you want to drive a BMW, you want to drive a Lambo, you know what I'm saying? But you don't want to have to like, you have to find a way for it to pay for itself,
right?
And produce cash,
and produce
cash on the back end. Right. So now what a lot of people do is like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna put my car on Turo. I'm gonna get 10 cars, put them on Turo. And then I'll drive my car when I need to drive it, because 40% of the time, people who have cars in New York City don't drive them, right? So you're paying $267 a month or whatever you pay, plus you're paying also insurance. It's like that's $400 leaving your bank account just so you could drive it to go on a date with Susie, you know, on a Friday night, you know?
And the date probably costs a lot of money too.
And then the date costs money as well. Like, you know, when you go on a date with a woman and you spend money on that, I know this is going to sound very bad, but it literally, you are investing into the woman.
Yeah, that's really what it is.
So now you have to start to make smart decisions. Like, okay, am I gonna who is this woman I'm investing in? Like, the car. So everything, you have to look at everything, even down to like personal relationships, as investments. You cannot just like have people around you or be spending money on some like random like thing that's like, it's cool, but it doesn't like bring any kind of like upgrade or value into your life.
Very true.
Yeah,
very true. Yeah, you have to look at it as an investment. You know, that's the only way to look at money. Look at money as a tool. To get you guys started, I really think that you guys should look at the show Shark Tank. That's an amazing show, and that actually got me. It'll get you started if you don't understand, you know, the business space and the business side of the world, capitalism. You know, that show will begin to help you understand, you know, why people get excited when the IPO drop. Like, you know, I remember the other day, you know, we used to talk about Jordans. Oh, the 12s is dropping. You know, the other day we was talking about Airbnb IPO.
Yeah.
You get excited. That same joy for, you know, the Jordans dropping, the 12s is coming out March so and so. Now we're looking at, you know, Airbnb IPOs and things of that nature, because it's an excitement to it, and money is really a sport. You know, once you start winning, money becomes really a sport. That's why I always say to manage your risk, and that's why another topic I will, you know, for my personal attributes and my personal experience, I won't ever denounce my 9 to 5. I still have my 9 to 5, which is amazing for me because I enjoy what I do, one, and two, you know, I started my entrepreneurship journey a little bit later, like 34, 35, right? So I've been doing this for about 3, 4, 5 years. But one of the things that I tell my students is that, hey, listen, let your 9 to 5 pay your bills, and let your side hustle pay your lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, and it's amazing. You can take advantage if you want to stay, because people love stability. You know, people love stability. They like to be stable. So I get that. So it's not like, you know, a lot of like entrepreneurs and coaches in our space, you know, and I'm sure my brother can attest to that, always preach, don't go to 9 to 5, or your 9 to 5 is trash, or we don't preach that.
Not at all.
We want to add value to. You know, my brother's an architect. He worked hard for that degree. I'm a nuclear medicine technologist, and I manage a department, you know, in one of the best hospitals in the Eastern Hemisphere. So I enjoy what I do. I literally love and enjoy what I do, right? But on the side, I come home and I work on my business, and we're a 7-man team, me and my business, my side hustle, and that pays my lifestyle.
Yeah.
Where we're shooting this video right now, I live in a luxury building on the 44th floor. It's amazing. We have 3 rental properties. We have a property in Atlanta, and it's just amazing, you know. And these are the things that you'll be able to help, that will be able to help you build generational.
Right.
So I don't preach, oh, your 9 to 5 is horrible. Leave your 9 to 5. You're doing something wrong by paying taxes. Or we don't preach that, you know, because we want to include everybody.
Right.
We can take advantage of both systems.
Right. I think ultimately what it comes down to is happiness, purpose, and impact.
Right.
You know, like, yeah, it's great to make a lot of money. You know, it's great to like become wealthy. It's great to take care of your family. You know, but like, let's be real here. And this is one of the reasons why I like Ty Lopez, is because the way he speaks is very real. Like, you know, like, you can't just make a boatload of money and then that's going to bring you joy and happiness. You have to, like, after a while, there has to be something else that you can hook onto. Like, for instance, you have your job, you know, you're helping, you know, hundreds of people on a daily basis, saving lives. You know, I'm doing my architectural thing. I know that I want to build, I want to be part of building or constructing, designing the built environment for minorities, for indigenous people, for black people, you know? So it's like you said, you know, my job, yes, I want to get paid very, you know, handsomely in my job, and I want to be able to pay my bills, but I don't want to just be able to afford to take 2 vacations a year.
Exactly.
You know, I want to be able to, like, when I'm dating a woman, I want to be able to take her to, you know,
wherever she wants.
Zanzibar, whatever, wherever she wants, you know, and like be able to pay for it. And that's where the side hustle comes in, you know. So like you said, it's a sport where it's like you have to learn how to like manage your life and finances and just becoming an entrepreneur or even just having a side hustle while working a 9 to 5. It starts to like pour into every area of your life, you know.
Yeah.
Like because like you said, now you're building up skills, you're building up like that mental cachet.
Right. That's true. And once you build up those skills, you have them for life, man. Mm-hmm. Like my riches, I'm sure my brother can attest to this. My riches is not, you know, what's in my bank account. My riches is what I have up here, man. You know, I know how to run ads. I just know how to do them.
Yep.
You know, among other things, right? So even if today, you know, if it all went away, you hear people play that game. If it all went away, how long would it take you to get it back? You know, like that would never happen because I manage risk so well. Mm-hmm. That would never happen. But it just puts you in the right mind frame. It's good to play that game with yourself. Like, what would you do? You know, a lot of people can't answer that question. Right. You know, because if you lose your job, that's it. Yep. You know, what really propelled me to jump into, you know, my side hustle prospering is in 2019 actually, before the pandemic hit, I was laid off for 3 months. And as much as I love my job, I was laid off. You know, they laid me off. They said, hey, listen, we don't need you right now. And this was before I got the position that I got right now. But, you know, I was working at my job, I enjoyed it, and I got laid off. And as I got laid off, I used the skills that I learned from dropshipping to get, you know, another job, the job that I have right now. You know, so some people don't know about Upwork, some people don't know about Fiverr. But while I was laid off, I was working on my business, and I hired somebody $5 to fill out thousands of applications. Yep. Thousands of applications for me. So I beat the competition. Mm-hmm. And these are skills that I've attributed and I've learned from dropshipping, you know, which is the business model that I'm in. E-commerce, Amazon FBA, selling on Etsy, selling on eBay, all of those things. These are the things that I've learned from that, and I use that in my job. Yep. Right?
Yep. Let me say one thing, right? And I'm going to leave you guys with a golden nugget, right? Because I'm going to wrap up this video real soon. But you could literally find your next job on LinkedIn for a 30. You could go to conversify.com. You could literally, they send out 60 requests for you, right? This is LinkedIn marketing. You could literally create a filter list. You have to get Sales Navigator. You go to LinkedIn. You go to LinkedIn.com. Sign up for a Sales Navigator account. It's about $79.99 a month. Not that much money. And then after that, you get a Conversify. Go to conversify.com. They are the cheapest LinkedIn marketing company right now. They will automate 60 requests in, and you can actually have 6 messages that you can send out. So if right now you're a pharmacist, you just graduated from medical school, or let's say you graduated from, like, I'll use my example, right? You graduated from architecture school. You're in the middle of a pandemic, and you're filling out applications. When I first graduated, I graduated in like 2011, and I was sending out by email a bunch of messages to like a bunch of like firms in the city. Right. And I'm like, I made it like I was like every day, for 3 times a day, and people say, "Wow, that's so great." But I was working hard, but it was kind of stupid. Not stupid, but it was just like I could have done it way better. Right. Let's say, for instance, I had known about like Sales Navigator at the time. Right. I could have just set it up on autopilot where it's like, all right, I'm going to target.
They just send it out.
Yeah. Right. So it's all about like building skills. And like you said, you got somebody on Fiverr or Upwork to pretty much